Hey YouTube, welcome back to the BMO Biweekly Buzz. I'm your host, Rebecca Dick, your BMO mortgage specialist. And today I'm here in Langley at MBJ Law, getting to know Tiffany and Bryce Jeffries.
Hi.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
So just to start off, what is the type of services that you provide, Bryce, if you wanted to give us sort of an overview?
Well, because we go back to 1948, it's always been a very big general practice for the community. So that involves obviously people with contracts and wills and estates and real estate. So people buying and selling and mortgages, and then we branch off into some other services. I do, for example, mediate a lot of litigated disputes. So mostly general practice.
Okay. And of course, as a mortgage specialist, the mortgage piece is why I go for.
Very important.
Very important. So thank you for that. Tiffany, what's the most common question you get from clients?
Personally, because I do a lot of the estate stuff, is why should I have a will?
This is a good one.
Yeah. So I guess the answer to that question would be just so you can protect your assets and ensure that you know what is happening to them and you have control over what happens after you're gone.
And that's great. I have a lot of, when we look at clients' financial situation, not only do we want to look at the mortgage, we want to make sure that they're taking care of everything else as well. And like you say, a will is an important part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So Bryce, what is the weirdest legal situation you've ever come across?
Well, as Tiffany was reminding me a few minutes ago, we were talking about that when I was an articled student. They sent me to Squamish to bail a fellow out of jail. And they said, oh, it's nice and easy, just go see the judge and say, it's all good, and they'll let him out. Well, the judge said, Mr. Jeffrey, what do you know about this gentleman? And I hadn't been provided with much background, so the judge looked at me and he said, well, okay, bailiff, lock Mr. Jeffrey up with the prisoner and let him find out. So the bailiff took me into the cell, and I spent a lovely 10 minutes with the prisoner and found out a lot about him. And came back and managed to get him out of jail. Judges like to play tricks on young lawyers.
Yes, the newbies always get it, isn't it? That's always the way. So I guess the big question, Tiffany and Bryce, is what's the advantage? I know I have a lot of clients ask me this question, is, notary or lawyer. A lot of clients focus on price, and that's important, but what would you say is the advantage to hiring a lawyer versus a notary? I think specifically for real estate, of course.
Yeah. First thing to note is it's a very common misconception that a notary is cheaper. I don't know why people think this, and maybe because they figure there's less schooling, so they'll be cheaper, and it's just kind of ingrained into people's brains.
I think that's a myth. Okay, we've
yes.
identified a myth here, folks.
Yes.
Notaries are not necessarily cheaper.
We don't like myths.
That is very inaccurate. We wouldn't be able to continue doing what we do if we were so much more expensive than a notary. If anything, we're the same price. Sometimes we're even cheaper. Mm-hmm. So it's worth it to call around and check first and ask for the right quotes, because a lot of the time you'll find that people are also giving out the wrong quote. They're giving out just this is our fee. They're not giving you this is our fee plus the disbursements, and so we so anyways it's
want to be clear on
that.
You
want to be clear what you're asking for in terms of price, and then figure out whether or not the notary is in fact cheaper. Mm-hmm. On top of that, like I mentioned before, lawyers generally go through a lot more training, a lot more schooling, so we have a broader knowledge base. And then on top of the real estate, we can also help you in other matters. So you come to us with your real estate deal, and then you come back to us for your will, and later on you have a litigation issue, and we can sort of help you fend the water in that regard, or help you solve a problem. And a notary unfortunately can't do that. Mm-hmm. So they'll have to send you to a lawyer eventually anyway. So it's
they
nice
can do wills, but a lot of the other things.
Exactly. It's nice if you already have a relationship with the lawyer as opposed to having a notary send you somewhere else.
Yeah, so make sure you're comparing apples to apples. That's always important. And relationship, like you say, if you can get the full support, that's even better. You never know what life will throw.
We're like keeping clients in the family.
Yes,
helping them through different
and
stages
you work
of
with
life.
business clients as well. Then I know I have a few of those as well who would be looking for that other kind.
Exactly.
Of
so
support.
We may and that sometimes it crosses over too. We might help you with your personal real estate, and then you need to incorporate a company, and we can do both those things. So that's a nice
Awesome.
thing
Thank
to
you.
have.
Thank you. And one last question to sort of end it off. We'll start with Bryce and then we'll go to Tiffany. So what is one thing about you unique about you that your clients may not already know?
That I was a semi-professional soccer player before I became a lawyer.
Ooh,
And
that's a good one.
that I actually qualified as a barrister in England, and my schooling was all over there, as was Tiffany's, and decided to come back to my home, which it was and is Langley.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Tiffany?
I don't know if it's super interesting, but I'm really, really into photography. I
Oh,
love
okay.
doing that on the side. So yeah, and yeah, I've spent 4 years in England doing my schooling.
Awesome, awesome. So I should be having you do the next video
Yeah.
then with your, you must have a fancier
I
camera
was gonna
than
say
me.
it's not quite so.
She's always looking at a better camera.
I am always looking at a better camera.
Wonderful. Well, again, we're here with Tiffany and Bryce Jeffery at MBJ Law here in Langley, and they're right here on Douglas Crescent. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
And we'll talk to you soon. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, YouTube. Until next time, this is the BMO Biweekly Buzz.